Well, welcome. Today, we are going to go over all of the fun AI enhancements and tools that we've been working on here at Ylopo. We were working on AI here before AI was cool in December of last year. We've been working on AI for years, and we have an amazing machine learning AI team here at Ylopo. And so you can imagine, not only were we excited that there was, kind of so much consumer and public interest about AI, but this absolute explosion of new technology that has come onto the market. And so what I'm going to share with you guys today is tactically and strategically, what is Ylopo doing around AI that's going to help you literally right now, right? And I'm also going to show you what we are doing on AI that's going to help you over the next couple of months and potentially years, because there's some truly groundbreaking stuff that's happening that we want to bring to the vertical, right, to residential real estate. I'm also going to give you guys a preview of the two products that Ylopo will be launching in the next couple of months here. That we're super excited about. One is a lead generation product, and one is a sister company that you have heard us talk about before called Maverick. And I want to give you an update on those two as well, because those are the near-term releases that we will having in the next, I'd say, Maverick really in the next 30 to 60 days, and Raya Live, which is our new appointments product, will be kind of in that 60 to 90 days time period. So we're both really excited about that. So, and by the way, if you have questions, preferable if you asked it in the Q&A. It's very hard for Barry and I as we're going through to answer questions in chat. Obviously, we've got some team members here asking that will answer questions, but if you have something that you want Barry and I to address, please do so in the Q&A section. And as we get to a stopping point, we're going to talk about those things. Okay, so first major announcement, everyone. I want to kind of give a big shout out to Joe, to Aaron, to Simon, and the rest of our AI team. As of literally, I believe last Thursday, we have secretly released what we call Raya 2.0 integrated with ChatGPT. This is the biggest enhancement to Raya that we have released in almost a year. We've been in the lab working on enhancements to Raya, all through this time period that generative AI, specifically ChatGPT, has exploded. And the timing could not have worked out better, because just as we were implementing new features related to the Raya 2.0, here comes ChatGPT, which just took it to a whole nother level. And so after months and months of testing, slowly rolling this out over the last 2 months, I would say, starting with 5% traffic, then 10% traffic, and now officially as of last Thursday, 100% of traffic, all of your volume is now going through our new Raya, which is enhanced by ChatGPT, right? Now, there's a couple of things around Raya 2.0, and I'm going to give you examples of how powerful this is. But understand the main focus of Raya is attempting to generate an appointment or a hand raise for the agent, right? Those are what we call needs follow-up leads. And so if you need a refresher on Raya, please talk to your CSM, make sure your smart lists are set up, etc., because the whole goal of Raya is to create leads that are tagged with needs follow-up. And those, we're creating more of those than ever before. And you need to be aware of how you find those conversations, right? So that's very important. We're not going to go through that today because it gets a little too tactical. But if you don't know what I'm talking about here, you need to talk to your CSM and make sure you have proper smart list set up. So, the beauty of Raya, and I get this question often, which is, well, there's ChatGPT now. Like, why do I need Raya? Isn't chatbots really easy? Well, the answer is no. And the reason for that is because ChatGPT, as powerful as it is, first off, it's not a chatbot that you can just implement on SMS, right? You unless you want to copy and paste conversations into ChatGPT and then paste them into your cell phone, it's just not automated in the way Raya is automated. But the second is that ChatGPT is intended to have a complex conversation with a consumer, right? Whereas Raya, its goal is to drive the consumer toward having an appointment or a conversation with you, right? And so there are only limited scenarios where ChatGPT actually makes sense in the context of a conversation. If we text someone and we say, hey, how's it going? I saw you registering my website, wondering if, you're interested in homes in Santa Monica. If the consumer replies, yes, 3-bedroom, 2 baths, it's not the right move to sick ChatGPT on this person and say, oh, of course, yeah, what do you like about the neighborhood? Love to hear about how your day went, right? You want ChatGPT or you want Raya to say, fantastic, what's your price point? Okay, great. Would you like to go see some homes, right? You want it to be directed, right? And so what we find is that only in very specific circumstances does it make sense to use ChatGPT, because you want to have a conversation with the consumer, right? And the beauty of Raya 2.0 is we walk that fine line to say, when does it make sense to use algorithms that are potentially even better than ChatGPT for certain conversations? When should we use ChatGPT, right? And the bottom line is, in our testing today with Raya 2.0, we are generating more than 30%, and that's actually a low number. That number is actually higher now, 30% more ready for follow-up leads today than we were before this change. And that's huge, right? 30%, that's a huge number. Now, what I'm going to show you next is ChatGPT, why is it so magical, right? Because what's interesting is, while it is a limited percentage, and I could be butchering this, Joe, but I remember the last time we were talking about it was around 15%, is that when ChatGPT does get engaged, it's like magic, right? The conversation, the depths of conversations you're able to have with the consumer is just next level. So we mocked up a conversation for you of how ChatGPT interacts with the consumer, so you get a flavor for the compassion that ChatGPT is able to show in its conversation, and the depths that it's able to go today versus before.
Hey, Jennifer, this is Raya, Barry Jenkins' team assistant with Better Homes and Gardens NAGR. We'd like to send you a few more listings you missed from your Google search. Is the email we have for you at gmail.com still a good place to send them? Also, if you're not interested in being texted, just say stop.
Now, I'm going to stop here because I've had a number of you ask the question, well, I've gotten a lot of stops recently. First off, Joe, do you have that stat? What out of 100 conversations, how many people say stop?
Sorry, I'm still tracking that down, but I'll make sure to get it for this call.
Okay, we'll get that in a second. But it's lower than you guys think, right? And obviously, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb, because you're getting a negative response from a consumer. Stop, right? But just understand, this is not like something that Ylopo requires. This is a directive from carriers, right? From AT&T, from T-Mobile, which then is passed through to Twilio, right? Now, the reason that's so important to add the stop variable is that at this point today, there are two things that you should be thinking about, which is, one, what is the consumer replying to me from the text messages that I'm sending out? And the second, and probably the more important one, how many of my text messages are actually even getting to the consumer? That's called deliverability, right? And what's happening behind the scenes is that there are certain messages from carriers that we are sending to carriers that the carrier says, this is clearly spam, or we believe this is spam, so we're not even going to get it to the consumer's inbox, right? Now, what's better? You sending a message and the consumer saying, I saw your message and I'm going to reply stop, or that you literally get ghosted because the consumer didn't even see your message, right? From our perspective, our goal is that we deliver as close to 100% of your text messages as possible to the consumer, so they have an opportunity, if they wanted to engage you in a conversation, right? So that's why we add this stop language.
Yeah, and I kind of compare it with email marketing. We're all used to, let me think of an example. Okay, so there was a period of time where if you, and I don't know if this is still true, but I'm just going to use it as an example. if you hyperlinked text, like you put homes for sale, you highlighted it, and you inserted a link, and you attached a picture. There was a period of time a couple of years ago where email marketers would say, hey, the big email providers, when you do that, they know that you're sending a mass email because people don't typically do hyperlinks, right? And so then we all decided, okay, you know, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do hyperlinks in our emails. And since that's changed, but it's this cat and mouse game that we have to play now with SMS, the same way you do with email marketing, to be able to perform in a way that, you know, the messages are being delivered. And this issue is now compounded because you're also now dealing with the entity sending the messages, which is Twilio, but now you're dealing with AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, like all these companies are all watching what your texts are. And so it really is a dance.
Yeah, 100%. And just to give you guys some reference here, right? There was, you know, due to a variety of deliverability, you know, because we're talking to Twilio, and this is just not us, by the way. This is Follow Up Boss. This is Call Action. This is, you know, everyone. You know, we're constantly having a dialogue with our Twilio team about what is deliverable and what's not deliverable, right? There was a point, I think there was a day, due to concerns just like the ones I'm talking about, that as much as 28% of every text message that was sent out was actually undeliverable by us due to compliance reasons, right? Now that number over the last week or so, we've gotten down to, I think, less than 8%, maybe 7%, right? So, you know, we're constantly working on that, right? But imagine we don't put stop on here and 50 to 70% of your text messages just go into the ether. You guys will feel better because you don't see the stop language there, but from a actual results perspective, it will be worse, right? So just understand that's the game that we're constantly playing. And, you know, it took a lot of argument with Twilio around this. You wouldn't believe what they wanted us to put in here before, but also if you're not interested in being texted, just say stop. That's about as colloquial as we can get the not to stop language as it can be allowed, right? So I just want you guys to know that
like all caps or something.
They wanted all caps,
like
opt out now type language, right?
Yeah.
And hey, by the way, you know, if you're using a service where they don't require you to use that stop language, I want you to go ask that provider, hey, what percentage of your text messages are actually being delivered by Twilio right now, right? Let's see what their reply is, right? Because this is not our standard.
I can tell you. Yeah, I know of one of the big companies, and I'm not going to say who they are, that they have a huge problem. And this is why you notice in Follow Up Boss, they actually say like your text wasn't delivered. A lot of these other providers have not added that feature because they haven't solved the fact that their texts aren't going through. And so they don't want to make it transparent that their messages aren't being delivered.
Yeah, and huge shout out to Follow Up Boss, by the way, guys. Like they actually have a dedicated engineering team just working on deliverability all freaking day long. They have, I think, bar none, the best deliverability for text messages, you know, in the industry. Now, there's a difference between the text messages they send and the text messages we send because all of ours are automated, right? They're all the same scripts. And so, you know, there's a chance that they might get bundled and filtered together, which is what we're battling against all the time. Follow Up Boss, there are text messages that you guys send, which are by and large all unique, right? But I just want you guys to know this is something we pay laser focus to, but it's an issue not of just getting consumers to respond. It's an issue of delivery as well. All right, I've taken us down a side road, but let me get back to the power of ChatGPT.
Jennifer, how's the house search been lately? This is Raya, Barry Jenkins' team assistant with Better Homes and Gardens NAGR.
Raya, thanks for checking in. I'm actually in the process of getting a divorce and need to sell my house ASAP and find a new one. Also, just so you know, I have a disability.
I'm so sorry to hear that you're going through a difficult time with your divorce and the added stress of needing to sell your house and finding a new one quickly. It must be a lot to manage. What are you looking for in a new home? Any specific requirements due to your disability?
Okay, I just want to stop there for a second. I'm sure Barry's going to have some commentary. The power of ChatGPT, right, in this conversation, it recognized, hey, I'm going through a divorce. I need to sell my home. I need to buy a new one. And I have a disability. 4 separate ideas it captured in one message and replied to all of them. That is unprecedented level of sophistication. And I've shown this to a lot of clients, and I've had clients come up to me that says, okay, we're going to let just, we're going to let Raya cook from now on, because that's more compassion than my agents usually can put into a message, right? But that's an example of where this technology is going.
Well, yeah, and this is all about staying ahead of what the consumer is aware is possible, right? And so there was a period where just sending a text message when the lead first registers, I'm thinking like 2015, 2016, that the consumers are like, oh, my agent's texting me, and they didn't know. As time has gone on, as more businesses have leveraged text messaging, that has become more difficult. Everybody's excited about ChatGPT, but nobody's been able to integrate it at the level. And the subtlety here with what Joe and Aaron and the whole team has been doing is to pick up on that context, go to the engineering of ChatGPT and lift phrases and inject it into this text. It's groundbreaking technology. It's truly phenomenal.
Yeah, we're super excited about it. And like I mentioned, we're seeing a huge uplift in ready for follow-up statements. And, I would just ask, and I'm going to mention this later, there's a reason why, that, going forward, please pay particular attention to your Raya texts, right? Because we want you to see the nuanced difference of how good it is, which will help you build confidence in the chatbot. But we also need your help in making it even better. And I'll address that in a second. Now, what we see from Raya is that first and foremost, we text the lead on an average of 15 times in the first 30 days, right? That's that's basically once every 2 days in the first 15 days. The average consumer replies on the 4th text, right? So it's not enough just to text them once or twice. So, for those of you, few of you, I'm sure, who don't have Raya, if you're on Follow Boss and you're like, hey, I have a Follow Boss auto texter. Like, why do I need to keep texting? Why do I need Raya for? Why do I need automated, drip system for? Well, it's because the average consumer doesn't text back until the 4th text. So if you're sending out 1 text, you're missing out basically 3/4 of all replies, right? Less than 15% of these conversations utilize ChatGPT, and 35, and this number actually, I think we just looked, was like 37%, but all 37% of all conversations that are that are not stop, right, end up in a hand raise or ready for follow-up situation. That's really incredible, and it's just getting better. Now, one of the major innovations that we've added with ChatGPT, with Raya 2.0 is, and I think this is near and dear to Barry's heart, is the idea of objection handling, right? Now, this is something that Barry and Gabe and the rest of our team train on all the time. And so, Barry, can you talk to the power of objection handling and what you've built into Raya in this round?
Well, yeah. So what we've been able to do when we first came out with Raya, some of that innovation in 2019 is still, nobody else has done it. Merging IDX behavior with a bot on an ongoing basis, nobody else has been able to do at scale. But what we've noticed is that, in a sales conversation, if a prospect says to us, no, thank you, right? If you're a good salesperson, you're not going to say, okay, thank you, have a good day, and hang up, right? So if you say to the prospect, hey, are you looking at moving in the next 30 days? And they say, no, thank you. You're not going to say, okay, thank you, have a good day. You're going to say, okay, I understand. Well, are you looking in maybe 6 to 12 months, right? You're going to do a follow-up question, at least one more. And up until this point, the technology wasn't really available for us to be able to push the envelope with objection handling and soft no's versus a hard no. And what we've been able to do is kind of flex Raya's muscles a little bit to where she's able to approach a soft no thank you, and this is one of many examples, with a little bit more empathy to come back to the consumer either with a redirected question. So for example, if we say, would you like a home equity report? And the seller says no. Raya used to say, okay, thank you, have a good day. Now Raya is going to say, I understand. And then she's going to take a moment to try to teach the consumer, like, I understand. We encourage our clients to meet with our agents early on in the process. With that in mind, is there a day that we can call you, right? So she's actually going to take every single conversation as an opportunity. So in the same way we teach our users, when you get a stop text, to call and apologize and say, hey, I'm sorry my assistant bothered you, because it's an opportunity to engage the client and form a relationship. We're also teaching Raya to do that. It is my expectation that we will see a significant increase in conversions when we finish this project, because with what we've been able to find, there's just a big opportunity here. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, 100%. And just to clarify, I saw a question earlier. Is ChatGPT and Raya the same thing, right? So Raya is your Ylopo Real Estate as your assistant. That's your chatbot. ChatGPT is a technology developed, basically an API developed by another company called OpenAI that is integrated now into Raya that makes Raya more powerful, right? So is it the same thing? No, but is Raya now taking advantage of the latest machine learning, latest AI technology in the industry? Yes, right? That's the best way to think about it. So, okay, bottom line.
Is ChatGPT assisting in every conversation or percentage?
It is not. No, as I mentioned, it is only activated in a subset of conversations where it would be helpful for ChatGPT to, kind of have a complex conversation with the consumer, right? So it is being activated right now on a very minority of cases. But when it happens, like the example I showed you guys earlier, it's magic, right? The consumer's like, oh, this is real. I'm having a real conversation with a compassionate individual, right? So everyone on this call, or on this Zoom, everyone who will be watching this at home, and we will be notifying you all via Mission Control as well. We need your help. At this point, we believe that we have the best version of Raya we have ever released, but it is not as good as we want it to be. And so what we've done is set up essentially a hotline for Raya conversations. If you notice a problematic Raya conversation where you say, Raya's off on this, it should have replied differently. They missed the context here of the conversation. Something went wrong. Really anything that you notice about the Raya conversation that you think could be improved, please go to ylopo.com/Raya issue, and submit a ticket, right? Every single ticket of yours will be reviewed by our AI team. And we are actually able to go into the logic of Raya and fix that particular problem, right? If I can crowdsource from the community dozens or even hundreds of issues with Raya that comes about that you think we can fix, every single time you submit something, we're going to make Raya better, right? So please pay extra close attention to your Raya conversations and give us as many tickets as you've got, right? Because we want to take Raya to that next level. Now that we have the infrastructure to do so, this is going to just make Raya even better. Okay, so ylopo.com/Raya issue. Now, what's exciting about Raya is not only have we made it more powerful from a perspective of the intelligence of the replies. And soon, by the way, we're going to increase dramatically the amount of texting that we send out to the consumer now that we're confident in the technology behind Raya 2.0. But we also want to make it easier for you to use Raya, right? We understand right now you have to use smart lists, you have to view text on your phone. There's a number of processes that have to happen for you to see all of your Raya conversations. Well, thanks to our collaboration with our friends over at Follow Boss, I'm giving you a sneak peek into a project that we're collaborating on to bring Raya into the Follow Up Boss inbox. Right? So going forward, when this is released over probably in the next couple of months, I would guess sometime around FubCon, and although we will have beta clients before then, when you go into the Follow Up Boss inbox, right, you're going to be able to see a Raya inbox. And all of the Raya conversations we have with consumers will be right there. You'll be able to reply to Raya directly in stream within the inbox.
To the lead.
And you're able to control
to the lead as Raya.
To the lead. I'm sorry, to the lead within the Raya inbox. And you're going to be able to turn Raya on and off and select certain actions right within the interface, right? Best of all, because we're building this into the inbox, it will also eventually be available in your Fub app, right? So this is not just going to be a desktop tool. It's actually going to be something that appears in the app. And I think this is going to be a game changer when it relates to the organization and usage of Raya.
Well, yeah, because I mean, we teach our users that when Raya gets a response, people ask all the time, when should I take over the conversation? And it's a leverage play. If you're doing anything important, both personally or professionally, let Raya take it over, right? But if you're sitting at your computer and you're watching the conversation, it's best to take over the conversation as Raya and set an appointment for yourself. Hey, this is Barry's assistant. Barry'd like to meet with you today at 2. Are you available? He's going to call you from, and then give your cell number, right? Well, currently you got to click the stars link. You got to load the inbox from stars. It's a little bit cumbersome. Having it baked into Follow Up Boss in this way allows it to be effortless. And what you're going to see is an increase of transfers. If you don't do it the way that I said, and you call from a separate number, which is what most users do, unfortunately, because it is cumbersome, you're having to start up a whole new identity, and you're losing all the traction that Raya had with the consumer. So this is going to be a really big deal for our customers. I feel very strongly about that. Lots of fire emojis are flowing through.
Love it, love it, love it. Awesome. All right, so we've talked a lot about Raya. Raya 2.0 is here. We're looking forward to all of your feedback. Looking forward to taking it to the next level, but we're really proud of the work that our team has done to get it to where it is today, right? So now let me give you guys a preview of what's to come. So I'm going to breeze by some of these because we've already taken 30 minutes. I can't believe that was already 30 minutes, and I've got so much to show you guys. So the first thing we're going to be releasing in the near future is our new lead gen product that we call Ylopo Live Leads. The problem we're trying to solve is there's been an age-old challenge of how do we get agents to get on calls, to actually talk to make the dials necessary, right? To actually talk to agents to talk to leads, for agents to talk to leads and follow not just the cadence that agents currently follow, but the cadence that Ylopo wants you to follow to get the best results, right? And so at the end of the day, we said, let's just solve this problem in the way that we know how, which is through technology and through enhanced service. And so we have actually spun up a tech-enabled call center on the Ylopo side. And instead of delivering you leads going forward, we're going to deliver you live transfers and appointments, right? Now, how Ylopo Live is going to work is that in the future, with up to 60 days of nurture. So when new lead comes in, up to 60 days, we're no longer going to send the lead over to you guys directly. We're going to hold it in a holding tank on the Ylopo side, and we're going to dial that lead up to 20 times over 60 days. And not just randomly, not like day 1, day 5, day 6, based on their engagement on the website, priority notifications, their text engagement, open emails, all of the triggers that are so important for us to know that this consumer is actually engaged. We are going to go ahead and reach out to these consumers for you. And only when we reach that consumer and they are ready to be handed off on a live transfer appointment basis do we transfer the lead, right? That even extends to if we talk to a lead and they say, oh, I can't talk today, but call me back on Monday at 2 o'clock. We don't just send that lead over to you. We're going to call back. Our call center is going to call back on Monday at 2 o'clock to see if they're ready to get into a real conversation with you, right? Now, the stat that I think encapsulates this is that we've seen in our own call center across tens of thousands of leads that it takes an average of 3.7 phone calls just to make one quality connection with the consumer. That's not us transferring a call to the agent. That's just making a quality connection, right? And I went into FUB and I looked at our top 25% of teams and I said, for new leads, how many times in the first 30 days were they called? 1.18 times, right? So even for the top teams within the Ylopo network, they're calling only a third of the time, third of the best practice that we know is necessary to create a quality connection. That's why we created Ylopo Live, right? So we're going to consistently and persistently follow up the lead, get a higher connection rate. We're going to do all the heavy lifting, and then we're going to transfer those leads to you. All of the conversations, all of the messages, all of the notes are going to be inside your FUB as well, right? So we're going to take the hardest work of lead cultivation out of the equation. All of our agents are going to use, meaning our call center agents are going to use the best practice scripting and dialogue developed by Barry, by Gabe. We have full-time ISA coaches that are working with our call center folks. And we're going to leverage all of Ylopo's rich data, priority alerts, Raya conversations, listing alert activity, etc., to enhance the quality and timing of conversations to increase our live transfer rate, right? I'm going to show you some of the technology that we're putting in place in our call center that eventually will be in Maverick and Ylopo Suite technology to control the quality of those calls in a second. But just understand, this is not a call center. This is a tech-enabled call center, right? It has literally taken us a year and a half of engineering to get to the point where we're introducing this product at a quality level we're confident enough in that this is going to work, right? So we're really excited about this product. And this will be release timeframe probably to most clients, on a beta basis available in that August timeframe. The second product that we're going to be releasing in the very near future, and this is more in the 60-day category, I would say, is Maverick. And Maverick, just for all of you guys who aren't clear, is what we call our sales manager in a box. A sales manager, their objective is to bring efficiencies into your systems, right? They find, what are the best lead sources? Who are the best agents? What are the best systems you should be using? So on and so forth. We make all of those decisions lightning fast, 15 minutes a day. They get all of the reporting, dashboards, everything that they need. And then they get the tools to weaponize that data to actually get higher conversions for you, getting the best leads to your best agents, making sure your database is being followed up with the way that you want it to be followed up with, so on and so forth, right? I won't go into the details of Maverick today because that itself is an hour-long conversation. Just know that we spent a ton of time, 2 acquisitions actually, and millions of dollars of resources on the Ylopo side to build this product, and we're extremely proud of it. We think it solves a major problem. And as a preview of this technology, we have actually created what we call the Maverick Assessment Report. What this report is going to do, and it's entirely free, is it's going to go inside your follow-up boss. It's going to analyze your follow-up boss against 12 different metrics that we have identified as important for assessing the health of your lead follow-up, right? These are things that you can't see in Follow-Up Boss today that we believe, based on all of the top teams in the country, are really important for you to assess, when it comes to lead follow-up. Things like, how many text messages did it take for an average consumer to respond? And who among your team are the ones getting the most responses versus the least responses, right? And if you go to maverickre.com, which is the Maverick website, you click on free assessment, you're going to have a 3-minute setup process. Just enter in your FUB API key, define some things, and we're going to start giving you on a monthly basis this free report, right? There's no reason not everyone on Ylopo should be getting this report, because it's going to tell you how is your lead follow-up relative to the lead follow-up of all other Ylopo clients, right? Why wouldn't you want to know that? So go to maverickre.com and sign up for a free assessment.
Yeah, I said this at, I think it was the second summit that we did in Orlando. I got on the free report. I think it was the free report. And it told me that the Monday at 8 o'clock at night is when we had, it was either the highest conversation rate was Monday at 8 o'clock. So what I explained to G was, that's really that is insight into my business that I never would have known. Just random to me that on Monday nights, the agents that are calling on Monday nights are getting more conversations. Now, that doesn't mean that's for you guys, right? This is my market, my team, my leads. But the fact that this system is scanning my follow-up box and analyze all these calls and giving me insight that's not just like, here's how many appointments you had this month. I mean, that's important, but it's not like business-changing information. And so what I love about Maverick is it's taking data points that have been accessible, and it's allowing me to make informed business decisions at the management level. And then, of course, the fact that it's a lead manager and an ops manager in a box. So if you log into your follow-up box and you have the compulsion to see, for example, I'm going to give I could give 5 examples, but my favorite is you log in and you start scanning to see if anybody dropped the ball. It's something we all do as business owners. You're like, okay, did John, they got that appointment yesterday, did he follow up? Did Mary, I saw she got a priority alert, did she respond? Like all these things that we worry about because we're spending thousands of dollars. To have all of that aggregated in Maverick and one-click actionable in Maverick, I've got 10 rules that's always watching. And so I don't even, to be honest with you guys, I have an admin doing it. Now that I trust Maverick, I have an admin logging in, and every day she just click, 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 and I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's been pretty transformative.
And I'm just answering questions here. So one thing I want to clarify is all of the leads generated by Ylopo Live, regardless of if they are transferred or not, are your leads. We will give you every one of those leads, right? The reason that we hold them for 60 days, and by the way, that is, entirely something that we can control. We could send them to you right away if you wanted to. The reason we hold them for 60 days is we found that if we give you every lead at the time it's generated and we're calling on those leads and you're calling on those leads, the consumer gets really confused, right? And we don't know if you made contact with the lead, that we should stop calling that lead. It just becomes, kind of a lot of conflict and a lot of issues. And so instead, we hold those leads. We call those leads by best practice all day long. And then after those 60 days, we scrub out all the don't call me, leave me alone, etc. And we send you all of your nurture leads from there, right? So you're not missing out on any opportunities. You're just getting them progressively as we have worked them for you, right? Now, if you're the type of person that's like, no, I want to see every single lead, I want to call on those leads, you don't have to use Ylopo Live. You can still get all of the leads in the same way that we've been doing it. This is a new service and offering that we're rolling out, right? So just be aware that's not certainly not a requirement, and we are not going to be holding every single lead. Okay, fantastic. Yes.
I've been pinging Joe because some of this data is really exciting, and I hope you don't mind, but Raya, the latest version of Raya, is currently converting to AI meets follow-up. Are you going to go over this percentage?
No, go ahead.
36% of conversations, 36%. That's over the last month. Of 115,000 messages in the last 30 days that she sent, 27,000 said stop. So it's less than a quarter said stop. But 36% of the conversations where the lead is responding to Raya, she's converting into an appointment. And we're not even done with the objection handling. So guys, this is, it's a really big deal. That's amazing data.
Yeah, I love it. And hey, by the way, we just released this to everyone on Thursday, right? So I can't wait to see what that data looks like in 30 days. Awesome. Okay. So I just showed you guys what is the near-term things that are coming, right? Now I want to show you guys the future. And this is what Barry and I are beyond excited about, because some of the AI stuff we're talking about here, this was just not possible even 3 to 6 months ago, right? So first and foremost, on the ad creative side, there's a lot of innovation. This is all behind the scenes stuff, but you know, I can just type in a couple of words now, and instead of getting one ad that's being built that takes me an hour, I can get, you know, 100 ads that are being built that take seconds, right? That has real implications on how we do remarketing for you and how we're generating new ads, leads, like more LSA leads, which is coming, as well as more cash offers leads, which we're experimenting with, right? So future of digital advertising, very bright. What we're in particular excited about, though, is the idea of enhancing Raya further with video and audio personalization. The idea here is, okay, text messages, people get them all the time. They sometimes pay attention to it, sometimes not, right? But imagine if you were texting them an MMS video, a video of yourself talking to that consumer. Well, that person, if they saw that you made the effort of actually spending a minute recording a video for them, chances are they're going to watch it, right? This is why BombBomb works. This is why all these video messaging platforms work. The problem with those platforms is, are you really going to record 100 to 200 videos per month for all of the leads coming to your platform? Come on, who does that, right? Good news is we're going to automate it for you. Here's an example.
Steve, it's Howard Tager here with the Andrew. Hey, Steve, it's Howard Tager here with the Andrew Franklin team. I'm excited to share with you a new listing that my teammate has coming on the market next week in Sugar Land. Steve, I thought of you because I know that you've already checked out a few other homes on my website in Sugar Land that are also between $3 to $4 million with at least 4-bed, 4-bath, and large yard. I've completed a search for you as well, and there are currently over 4 homes in the market right now that fit that exact description, and we can go see them, or if you'd rather, I can send you a customized list of those homes. Is Sweber 917.
You guys get the point, right? So this is a video that essentially takes an avatar of your face and voice, right? We're going to sit you in front of your computer. We're going to record you for 5 to 10 minutes, get your audio perfectly tuned, get your video perfectly tuned, and then we're going to mash that information with the metadata we have about the consumer on our website. They're looking for 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, you know, XYZ price point, so on and so forth. And we're going to create, for every lead that comes to your site, a personalized video that we're going to send to them as part of our Raya drip, send to them as part of our listing alert drip that speaks to their needs specifically, right? How powerful is that? You know, and this is not a technology that's like years in the future. We're starting to work on this today to deliver it to you guys in the next 3 to 6 months, right? We're beyond excited about it. Now, engagement, one aspect of how you use this technology. Oh, Barry, please go ahead.
Hey, Steve.
I was just going to say, going back to what I said earlier.
This is Howard Tager.
Of staying ahead of what the consumer understands is possible. The consumer doesn't recognize or isn't aware that we can automate your face into a video, injecting their name and their search criteria and the home they just saved or the market that they're looking in, right? And so we consistently are innovating to stay ahead. And why is that important? Marketing is all about setting yourself apart. You hire Ylopo to be the best in class, most innovative, 2 steps ahead, right? And yet again, we're doing it. We're doing it. And you guys are watching this. This is another one. From a nurture standpoint, this next one's money.
Yeah, and keep in mind, guys, I mean, this technology I'm showing you guys literally is from, like, I think February of this year. I could show you some of our latest stuff that would blow this out of the water. But think about how we're going to use this, not just for personalization, but also for your advertising, right? So this is an example that we would run for you as a Facebook ad to targeted toward your database.
This is Howard Tager giving you an update about April real estate market trends in Boise. In the last 30 days, 108 homes were sold for an average price of $475,000. This represents an increase of $25,000 from the previous month. Meanwhile, interest rates are now at 6.45% and expected to go down in the next few months. I'm an expert in Boise real estate, and if you're looking to buy or sell in Boise, please contact me directly. Thanks.
So you see here, you know, this again is February technology, right? There are some polishes here. It says Boise instead of Boise. Well, guess what? We've corrected some of this stuff, right? But you can see the power of being able to fully automate and digitize your brand for advertising as well as for personalized communication. So this is going to be a major release of Ylopo's. We're really focused on bringing this technology to light. Time frame unknown, but we're literally flying engineers out all over the place, figuring this out as we speak. Now, this concept of video and audio AI extends beyond just personalization. I want to show you what the next level of diva advertising is going to look like as well, using all of this generative AI technology, right? Now, keep in mind, as you watch this, all I did was take an MLS number, I dropped it into our machine learning algorithm, it processed the description that you placed on that property and looked at all the photos and rendered this.
Nestled among lush greenery, this beautiful tri-level home offers a serene and picturesque setting. With 4,200 scaff of interior living space, this 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom house is perfect for a growing family. The spacious kitchen on the second level boasts ample counter space, a large island, and plenty of cabinets for storage. The ceramic tile and wood flooring throughout the home add a touch of elegance and warmth. The living room, also on the second level, features a cozy fireplace with gas natural features, a ceiling fan, and window treatments that allow for plenty of natural light. The dining room, adjacent to the kitchen, provides a comfortable space for family meals and gatherings. The great room on the second level offers additional space for entertaining and relaxation. Each of the 5 bedrooms features.
See how the audio script, first off, by the way, this is not in the description. This is taking your description, applying it to AI platforms like ChatGPT and saying, hey, create a 2-minute script for me based on the description provided, right? And notice how every single description perfectly mirrored the photo that it was describing, right? This is all AI, guys. This is not handcrafted or anything like that. This video probably 5 years ago, 3 years ago, would have cost you several $100s, if not $1,000 to create. Now on our back end of Ylopo, you're going to be able to press a button and it just generates for you, right? And there will be a 30-second spot for Facebook. There will be a minute spot for YouTube and a 2-minute spot that you can put on your MLS, right? So again, next level dynamic video ads, diva technology that we're working on today. The final level of AI, and then I'm going to talk about this and then take questions from the group. So if you have questions, please queue it up on the Q&A, is audio AI, right? This is something I'm tremendously excited about because we're using it in our own call center, right? What we're able to do is to transcribe phone calls that are recorded. And by the way, every phone call that you make in Follow Up Boss is recorded. We're able to transcribe those calls, give you a transcription, give you a summary of those calls so you know what happened, tag all of those phone calls with important tags that you care about, like this is a renter, this person said don't call me, this person set an appointment, etc., etc. And the last step is we're able to create a grading rubric to determine if your agent followed the ideas for. Did they listen to their concerns? Did they set the appointment? So on and so forth. And for every single phone call, we're able to provide you a score of how quality that particular call was, right? What does that mean? Well, that means that for our own call center, as an example, I am getting a score on every single call over, say, 30 seconds of how my rep did, right? I am then able to create a meta score that tells me, for all of the call center reps I have, who are my best reps and who are my worst reps. And for my worst reps, I'm able to click in and good, bad, and the ugly that they've had. And now I'm able to track that agent's performance week over week, month over month to see if they've improved or they stayed in their steady state, right? Well, guess what? You will be able to do all of that for your agents as well, right? Imagine the power of knowing from a sales skills perspective how your agents are doing and then being able to coach them up to do better and track their progress over time. How much that's going to elevate your business and improve your conversion rate. Whew. That was
Well, yeah, and
4 major AI updates. Barry, what do you think?
Well, yeah, and I was going to say with this last one, I would argue that there is no team in America that audits every single conversation that the sales team has. Not one. Do they listen to some? Sure, but not every single one of them. And this right here, I'm really excited about because it allows me to, perfect my sales team and my reps in a way that I wasn't able to before. So this would be a really big deal. And, people have been kind of wondering, oh, ChatGPT, or I saw, one agent was doing this with this. And we've it's not that we've been quiet. It's just, if I was to give an expression to it, it's kind of like, that's interesting. Meanwhile, you've been in the lab where we've got this whole team and you guys have seen what we've been able to do. And it's incredible. And it literally will revolutionize how we sell real estate. Now, it's never going to take our job. It's never going to take us out of the box. I'll just tell you guys how I'm looking at it. Instead of having to do maybe 50 things a day, each agent, I'm hoping that my agents can just basically optimize their day to do 20 things really, really well that only they can do. And in that sense, we'll sell more, they'll have a better quality of life, and everybody wins. And so the goal here in my mind with all of this technology is to leverage it to be able to do that. And I'm excited that we're here. The technology is here. We're on the cusp of releasing it in many ways. And so, yeah, it's a big deal.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of questions about Spanish here, and we will do our best. Yeah, I mean, language AI has gotten really, really good, and so to the degree that we can make audio AI and all the other stuff that you've seen here, Spanish version for all of our friends, especially in the Southeast, we will definitely do that. All right. Any other questions? We'll be able to use this data and tier leads to different agents. So for Ylopo Live, just so you guys know, we will have a lot of different routing rules and such, so you can route it through FUB. We will have different tags, so you can kind of figure all of that stuff out. It is a different product, and so there will be different pricing, but we are going to make it, more or less a package deal. And just so you guys know, we're aligning our interests with yours. So while we might charge you some money for the leads that we send through that we don't transfer, just because we're obviously generating those leads and sending it to you, we will be making our money, any margin that Ylopo makes on transfers, right? So our interests are going to be 100% aligned with yours to actually generate transfers. Let's see here. Any other questions? Currently with Sierra, does it work with Sierra? Yes, everything will work with Sierra except for the audio AI components. Maverick will out of the gate only work with Follow Up Boss. We will of course expand that to other CRMs as well. Recording will be shared with everyone from this webinar. Yeah, so I see a lot of comments on that. Barry, do you see any other questions that you want to answer?
Orion is asking about AI and fair housing violations.
Yeah.
That video that you saw was G just taking one video from one MLS number without any editing or any type of logic whatsoever. That being said, the way in which our AI is communicating with prospects is obsessively being filtered through several lenses. Mine, and I am not the authority on fair housing, but I have been at this for over 20 years. More importantly, we have a whole team of attorneys that helps us to make sure that everything that we're doing is in compliance, not just with fair housing, but with TCPA consent and everything else. So rest assured, when it does go prime time, all of these things will be filtered through and managed accordingly.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, chances are that housing violation was in the copy description of the MLS listing. So
yeah, it was.
There's a agent beware scenario there as well, but we will absolutely be that type of content. In terms of betas for all of these, I would say watch out for the YSC, Ylopo Success Community. That's where we're going to be recruiting testers for each of these things. And so, please look out for announcements for myself, Joe, or Charlene on my team, my head of product. We'll be announcing those things. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Well, we are right at 12 o'clock. This has been amazing, action-packed. Thank you, everyone, for attending. We will be sending out the webinar, the recording. And like I said, action items from you. I would really appreciate anyone submitting tickets to ylopo.com/Raya issue. Pay special attention to your Raya conversations. Send us any issues so we can resolve them and make the bot even better. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.